I lived a stone's throw from Stepney Green itself, which was a big area, a big site, and there used to be meetings there, fascists and anti-fascists, and there was skirmishes going on there, and a few hundred yards away was Duckett Street, which was a notorious street for the black shirts, where they used to hold their meetings, and there was a lot of unrest at that time.
Welcome once again to For Honour's Sake, the podcast from the Association of Jewish Ex-Servicemen and Women. I'm Dan Fox, Chair Emeritus of AJEX, and we're delighted today to be at the home in Chadwell Heath, East London, of gunner Monty Goldstein. Monty, thank you very much for having us.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Let's begin where we always begin, if we may, at the beginning. Where and when were you born, and what was it like growing up?
I was born in 1924, July 1924, what was then the East London Maternity Hospital in Commercial Road, which is not there now, though the building's there. And if you go past there, there's a plaque outside, Monty was born here.
I'll look out for it.
Which is near the Troxy, which is...
Yes, know the Troxy very well, yeah.
Yeah, which in those days... there was a small hospital there, and unfortunately, like a lot of other things, it's not there anymore, though the premises and building is still there.
Sure. And you went to school around there?
I went to school at Stepney Jewish School, which was in Stepney Green, till I was 14, when I left school in 1938.
And that was straight into work then? I
went straight into work, and my first job, I earned 10 shillings a week. 10 shillings, that's a half of a pound.
Half a pound. And what was it you were doing?
I went into a chemist shop. I thought I'd become a chemist, but I wasn't there very long. It didn't materialise what I thought, and then after that I went into the hat game, ladies' hats, working on the machine in ladies' hats.
That also in the East End of London?
No, it was in the Goswell Road.
Oh, it's a little bit further towards Islington. Clerkenwell.
Clerkenwell, yes. And I worked there in a couple of jobs till I was conscripted in the army in 1943.
Yeah. So you're working in the East End when war breaks out in 1939. Yeah. Were you evacuated or did you stay?
The first day war broke out, I went with my grandmother, my bubba. I had an uncle living in Brighton, Cannon Place, between the Metropole and the Grand.
Very nice.
And we stayed there for about 3 weeks. And there was no bombing at that time, so we came home. But I wasn't evacuated, and I used to go to the shelter in the evening and wonder when you come out whether your house is still standing. And unfortunately, in 1941, I was at St Mary's Station in Whitechapel, which is not there now, which between Aldgate East and Whitechapel, and I was in a shelter there. And when I come out from the shelter, St Mary's Station, a bomber dropped almost opposite where my uncle was, and he got blown up there. And I went to identify him with an uncle, and I was 15 at the time, and I'll never forget that day. He wasn't in one piece, and it stayed in my mind throughout my life.
Yeah. And did you have a sense that your own call-up was coming and that you were going to be part of the war effort?
Yes. In other words, at the age of 18, you were conscripted, whether you wanted to or not. And I remember getting my call-up papers and going to Waddington, to the South Lancs barracks, and I was there for 6 weeks. We're doing the army training before you got posted to a regiment. And unfortunately, at the end of the 6 weeks, we had nothing much to do. We went on an assault course. And my luck, instead of jumping over a ditch, I landed in the ditch and I broke my leg.
Ow.
And I was out of action in plaster for 6 weeks till I recovered and the bone was mended. And then I got posted to the Royal Artillery.
And whereabouts were you posted to?
I can't remember the first place I was posted to, but I was in various places because I was in the AJEX. I was posted AJEX Regiment, anti-aircraft. And I was in Blackpool, which was the best time in the army life, where all the entertainment was still on before a show went to London. It appeared there, and I had a good time in that 3 months. I was billeted in a house, and we used to finish at 5 o'clock, which is surprising for the army. And there was only a tenth of the military in Blackpool. Most of them were Air Force. There was an Air Force base near there, and very few army. And I was there for a while and got posted to other places. And then I came south, and the regiment I was with was supposed to go to France on just after D-Day. But at that time, the British Army was stuck round Caen, C-A-E-N, and we never went. And I got posted somewhere else and stayed in England at that time. And the regiment that I was with went over to France afterwards, but I was with a different regiment then.
And what was it like working in the anti-aircraft batteries at that time? And was it just a relentless sort of every night, or were you...
You had to, you were on 24 hours,
yeah.
And you had to learn most of the gunnery, because if somebody... I was a driver, and if somebody got knocked out, one of the crew got knocked out, you had to take their place. So you had to learn the searchlights and the anti-aircraft, what to do. And I used to drive a lorry, which was like a bus. They called it a matador, because the crew of the anti-aircraft or the searchlight would go in the back of the lorry. And as I say, there'd be about 10 in the crew.
And these were all in coastal positions, essentially defending the islands. Yeah.
So, though I might not have gone abroad, it was an important section, because we used to get air raids every night.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I was at home, we had to go to the shelter every night, go to sleep on the platform in the station when the trains weren't running, and you slept there all night.
Yeah.
And then have to go to work the next morning.
And was there much, while you were in the army, was there much chance of a sort of a Jewish life as well? Did you see chaplains? Did you meet other Jews? What was that like?
Not very much. Not very much at all.
Did you get much of a chance to get some leave to go back to the family in London?
Yes. You got periodically, you got leave to go back. I remember the first year I was stationed at Warrington. I went to Manchester for Pesach. I inquired at the inquiry office about something, and there was a Jewish girl, and she invited me home for Pesach for the Seder nights in Manchester. So that was my first time away from home, which was strange. I was a mummy's boy and sport born. Being a late comer.
Eventually, the war in Europe comes to a close. Can you remember where and when you were when the war in Europe was declared over, where you were on VE Day?
Yes. V-Day was in April or May.
May 45, yeah.
And I came out the army in March.
Ah, so you'd missed. Okay, so you're already out the army by then.
I was out the army.
Yeah, well, we've got your discharge papers here actually, and it gives the reason. It says, first of all, it says that your military conduct was very good, which we're very glad to hear.
Surprising.
But the reasons for discharge, it said that you ceasing to fulfil the army physical requirements. Had you got injured again, or was it the injury you'd had? Or
probably the injury I had.
Yeah.
Though I was still A1. For some reason, I wasn't downgraded, but I came out in March, just before the end of VE Day.
Yeah.
And it was when I came out the army, I went for a weekend to my uncle in Brighton, and that's where I met my wife.
So was your first wife Adele?
Adele, yes. And we were married for 37 years.
Amazing. When did you get married?
I got married in June the 20th, 1948, and we lived in Stepney Green with my parents for the first couple of years, saving up.
And did you go back into the hat business, or
no.
What was the new career?
Before I went into the army, I ended up making military coats, so I went into coat making. And I worked for a number of years as a machiner in the coat game for one or two of the big firms at that time, Green and Hearn, Ornstein and Massoff, which were household names for the women at that time, until 1960. My brother was in business in dresses, and he wanted to expand, and he thought I'd make a good addition, which I did, to his business, which enlarged in the dress game, selling dresses, that was my career.
Yeah. And straight away, upon becoming a Jewish ex-serviceman, you joined the Association of Jewish Ex-Servicemen, AJEX.
That was my ambition.
Right. Had your family been involved? Had you had previous military experience in the family with World War One, or so you were really the first to wear a uniform?
Not at all. Yes. Yeah. As being conscripted, but otherwise I had no connection with the military. But as soon as I left the forces, in Philpott Street there was the Maccabeans branch of the British Legion, which I joined, and we started marching from Philpott Street to the Cenotaph, to the AJEX Parade from 1945.
Absolutely, yeah.
When I joined. And then it became AJEX.
Part of AJEX, yeah.
Which I've joined in the East London Synagogue. At that time was a branch. And Max Bean and Joe Spector were the respective machas of the association. And Max Bean's son, Jerry Bean, became the chairman of
AJEX nationally,
AJEX,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
In later years,
absolutely,
and he was a notable chap, Jerry Bean, and he died a youngish man. I think he must have been in his 60s, which was about 10 years ago.
Now, having helped sort of defeat Nazism on the continent and defend these shores from it, after the war, back in the East End of London, there was still the residue of the British Union of fascists. Did you have many experiences on the streets with them?
Without a doubt. I lived a stone's throw from Stepney Green itself, which was a big area, a big site, and there used to be meetings there, fascists and anti-fascists, and there was skirmishes going on there, and a few hundred yards away was Duckett Street, which was a notorious street for the black shirts, where they used to hold their meetings. And there was a lot of unrest at that time, soon after the war. a lot of unrest with the fascists.
Yeah. But as things settled down, you and Adele were able to get your own place and start a family?
Yes, we lived with my parents for 2 years, and then we moved down the road to, my sister moved out from a flat, a little flat, and we lived there for a few years and had, I think my son was born there, and then we moved to a house a couple of turnings away till 1958, Valentine's Day, when I moved to Gants Hill, and there was an influx of Jewish young couples moving to the area, because it was cheaper this side of London than northwest London, which is now the most fashionable part. But at that time there was an influx of Jewish people to Gants Hill.
Yeah. And look, we first met actually not too far from there last Remembrance weekend at Romford Synagogue, yes, where you're an active member now. You were leading the choir in a Don Alarm, yeah. And singing's always been a part of your life.
When I was 8 in 1932, I joined the East London Synagogue, and at that time it was difficult to get into the choir. You had to have an audition. Whereas today they're begging people to join. If there is a choir, there's not many choirs about these days. And I stayed in the East London Choir till I moved to Gants Hill in 58, and I joined Beehive Lane Choir, and I was in the choir there for 60 years. And I thought, oh, I've had enough, until the COVID. And then it folded up.
Right.
But I still sang charitable affairs with a couple of groups. There was the Oxford Review Group and the Sue Moss Singers, going about to old people's homes and doing concerts. And we raised thousands of pounds for charity at those concerts, some of the concerts. We appeared at the Stratford Theatre Royal, and we made £10,000 there. And Jack Peachy,
yeah, of course, yeah, big philanthropist in this part of the world.
Whatever you take, I'll double it.
Oh, wonderful.
And he increased it. So we made £20,000 that night.
Amazing.
And we
incredible work.
Went about doing various things, raising money. We didn't get paid at all.
No.
Nothing at all. It was all for charity.
Yes.
And we done it till COVID. Many a year,
yeah.
Myself and my wife. And she was a trooper, also doing shows, all the big shows she'd done.
So this is Adele, your second.
No,
sorry, this is your Rhoda. Sorry, my apologies.
Rhoda.
Adele unfortunately passed away quite young after 37 years of marriage.
She passed away in 1985, and I got married in 91. I remarried to a friend who I knew, Rhoda Simmons. She was at that time, and she was in all the shows at the Beaumont. There was the Beaumont Operatic Society, it was called then, and she done all the big shows, doing many leading parts, and she was a real trooper and a lovely lady. I had 2 good marriages, 2 good women, and.
Yeah, I know. Rhoda passed quite recently. So may her memory be. Rhoda passed quite recently
in January.
January. So may her memory be as a blessing.
Yes, which was 3.5 months ago.
Yeah. And the family is still close by. Your children, grandchildren.
My 2 sons. One lives at Hainault, my younger one, and my older one, who's 74, lives at Collier Row, and Rhoda's son lives on a boat in Canary Wharf.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I see the three of them quite regularly.
Yeah. And they have children as well, so you have grandchildren? Or
I have my 2 sons. I've got 4 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. And Spencer, Rhoda's son, he's got 3 children, but they're spread out. The youngest one lives in Mexico.
Okay.
The second, his middle daughter lives in Italy, and the oldest one, Alex, was a policeman in the Met, and then he joined the fraud squad, and he was there for a number of years. And from the fraud squad, he went over to the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA.
Yeah.
Doing fraud.
Yeah,
fraud.
Very interesting career.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but him I see, a lovely boy, him I see quite often.
Yeah.
The other 2 I don't see, though they both, or 3 of them came from Rhoda's Lavoie, naturally.
Sure.
From Mexico also, and Italy.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you're still very involved with Romford Synagogue?
No, not
there?
really. No? I go there. I'm still a member of Beehive Lane.
Ah, okay.
But I go to Romford because I used to take the choir there with, in later years, David Rome.
Of course, yeah.
And which was good because they haven't got a choir, and we were very welcome there and pleased that we came there.
Yes, of course.
I don't know how we come to go there the first time, but we've been going there for quite a few years, 5 to 10 years.
And up until just a few years ago, you were still coming on the AJEX Annual Parade as well.
Until about 2 or 3 years ago, when I finished up in a wheelchair going on the march. But I went for a number of years in the wheelchair, but I went from 1945 throughout the years and seeing a lot of people on the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in fact, one year it was at Earl's Court, the reunion.
Yes, the after tea reunion.
The guest of honour was Anthony Eden, and I got his autograph there because in the evening he used to have a concert every year.
That's right, yeah.
I got his autograph, and it was in a gold brochure. And AJEX never had one, funny enough. And I gave that brochure to AJEX for their museum.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still there.
I'm sure it is. We'll have to look it out. So there's
be interesting.
Okay, so there's the AJEX concept brochure from the late 50s, would that have been? Early 60s?
I would say it was in the 60s.
It was after he was Prime Minister, was it? After Suez and all
I think
that?
he was Foreign Minister.
Foreign Minister. Okay, so maybe even earlier then. Yeah.
I
Okay.
forget what year it was.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe even earlier.
Every year, AJEX used to have the parade, and after the parade, they had a big concert.
Yeah.
With notable artists.
Yes, it was a huge thing. Yes,
it was
absolutely.
a big thing. You had a supper and.
Well, we'll have to look at archive. I'm sure it's there, and that brochure has been. You got that signed by Anthony Eden himself.
Yes, and
okay.
I presented it to.
Well, we'll definitely have to look that
AJEX didn't have one.
No,
surprisingly.
There we are.
Yeah.
Well,
I belonged to Ilford AJEX. I belonged to Wanstead and Woodward AJEX in later years, which was the strongest one in the country.
Yeah.
It was a thriving branch. Wanstead and Woodford. Max Wise was the
yes. The branches used to be, almost independent organisations, big enough themselves to run their events, have their own parades and everything.
It was the biggest group in the country, Wanstead and Woodford.
Absolutely.
And naturally, they're both at the AJEX parades these days. I don't know which one to march with. They all put on one sort of muscle.
Yeah. And what sort of other things? So you got family. You got, say, a little bit of occasional singing with choirs. What else has retirement held for you over the years?
Well, I've sang in choirs since I've been 8, and doing some concerts with various people, some notable people, and even this week I was phoned up by David Rome that I should join him for a special service in June. He wants me to sing in the choir, and he's got a solo for me.
Wonderful. Well, we'll look forward to that.
At my age, at nearly 102.
Well, you may be 102, but I've heard you sing, and your voice is still very young. So we'll look forward to that.
Amazingly, I can still sing and still reach the notes.
Yeah, no, it was wonderful to hear you, as I say, at last Remembrance Sunday.
He pointed out he wants me to sing what he wants me to sing there.
Yeah, fantastic.
Solo to do.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to that. So again, I know you can't be involved with AJEX as you'd like to these days, but in recognition, we'll say thank you for today, and also in recognition of everything you have done for us over the years. I've got the AJEX plaque to present to you.
Nice. That's very unexpected.
No, not at all. It's our pleasure, and hopefully with a few other of the mementos of your life, of your service that we have around the room, we can get that hung up for you here as well.
It's a shame it hasn't got. Well, I have to get it put on.
Just a nail or something should do there, or a hook.
On the wall.
Yeah, you could just go on that bit at the back.
That lifts up, or
no, I think that's just if you just get a hook that'll go in, or something like that, and it'll sit on a hook just there.
Very nice.
There you go. Not at all.
Very nice. Totally unexpected.
No, our pleasure. Thank you so much for talking to us today, and we will see you soon.
And my pleasure. And I hope. Well, I doubt if I'll be able to go on any parades these days. I wish I could.
But I'll see you again on Remembrance Sunday at least.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope I'll last.
You will, I'm sure.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. Monty, thank you for having us, and thank you for talking to us today.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.